Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing the perfect makeup tag. It was created by the lovely Morgan Turner and Patty Alonso. Okay y'all, future me popping in. I keep saying Patty Alonso and oh my god, I am so sorry. I don't know why I have that in my head, but it's Patty Alonso and I am so sorry. So from here on out, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna say it again, maybe at least once or twice, but I understand that it's Patty Alonso and I'm so sorry. So I just wanted to pop in and say that. So I'm sorry. Here on YouTube, if you're not watching them, both of them are just, oh my goodness, they're so beautiful. They create the most beautiful eyeshadow looks I think I have ever seen. So if you're not watching them, I'm gonna link both of their channels down below, and I'm also gonna link this video that they did and that they came up with. It's the perfect makeup tag, and I thought, how fun. It's not like necessarily holy grails or anything like that. It's the perfect makeup. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you and you want to hear my answers to the perfect makeup tag, then just keep watching. Okay, so the first question is, which primer creates the perfect base? Now, I'm not that big of a primer girl. I've spoken before that I typically just use my skincare as a primer, but if I had to choose like a moisturizer skincare primer, it's kind of new, y'all, but it would have to be this Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin in Crystal Nebula. Before I continue, I do have all of these products on my face today. I use that as a primer. It is just the most beautiful. It creates the most dewy, glowy base that really does. I mean, unless obviously you're doing like a full coverage moment, it really shows through your makeup and it just creates the most beautiful, like lit from within glow. Now, I have tried the Tatcha Silk Canvas. I've tried some of the more like pore filling primers like the e.l.f. one, which I guess that's kind of similar to the Tatcha. And honestly, that's just, it's not my thing. I imagine it's a beautiful primer. I mean, it really, when I did try those types of primers, like pore filling ones, it did fill in my pores. It's just not a look that I necessarily like to go for. So like I said, I like a glowy moment. I like being able to see that like lit from within glow. So to me, the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin is definitely my perfect primer. So the next question is, which foundation has the perfect finish, right? Let me make sure I'm checking. I have my little notes. Yes, the foundation that has the perfect finish. Now, this is kind of tough for me because when I think of foundations, I automatically think of like, you know, my Chantecaille Future Skin Cushion foundation. I think of my Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate foundation. I think of my Clé de Peau, the foundation. I think that's what it's called, the one in the pot by Clé de Peau. But when it comes to the perfect finish, now all of those, don't get me wrong, have beautiful finishes and I love all of them. But the perfect finish for me, and I think that suits a wide range of skin types, is this Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue foundation. I haven't talked about it too much on my channel, but it is one of my holy grail foundations. The reason I chose it for this perfect makeup tag with the perfect finish is because obviously the finish, it is dewy without being too dewy. You can wear it and sheer it out, or you can build it up to full coverage. And it really does last and create a beautiful finish throughout the day. The reason this became one of my favorites, y'all, and it was like right before we went into quarantine, me and my husband actually went to Disney World. This was before It's not, you know, since COVID or anything like that. It was before quarantine started, like right before quarantine started. And I wore that foundation to Disney World. And if you have not been, or if you're not familiar with the heat down here in the South at Disney World, it is like extremely hot and extremely humid. Now, let me back up. When I go to Disney World, I go hard. I'm a Disney adult. I have no shame. I love it there. I go hard. I'm up at like 5:30 a.m. I'm there for rope drop at the parks. I stay until the parks close. When the parks close, we go to Disney Springs. I mean, it is just like, I go hard, okay? This foundation, I would put it on at 5 o'clock in the morning and wear it until like midnight, 1 o'clock the next morning, and it still looked absolutely flawless. I don't know how. Maybe, you know what, I'll insert a picture somewhere of me wearing this foundation at Disney at the end of like a literally like 15, 16, 17 hour day, and it's incredible, y'all. And the finish still looked, I mean, obviously it was a little bit more dewy just because, you know, my oils and stuff came through and it was so humid there, but it still looked flawless. So the wear, the finish, everything of this Estee Lauder foundation is just chef's kiss perfection. Absolutely love it. Okay, so the next question is the concealer with the perfect coverage. Now, there's a lot of concealers that I like, okay? This concealer specifically that I'm gonna mention, it, like I said, or like the question asks, has the perfect amount of coverage for me personally. I do think, again, like I said about the foundation, I do think it would suit a lot of people. It is the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Concealer. It really creates the most natural finish underneath the eyes. Again, it lasts all day. I always set under my eyes with a little bit of powder. And when I do that, it lasts all day. And it just creates the most radiant, natural finish. And, you know, honestly, you can wear it sheer if you want to put like a color corrector underneath and brighten it a little bit more, or you can wear it by itself, which is what I'm doing today. And it just, you can build it up to be basically full coverage. It's just a beautiful, beautiful concealer. And I really do feel like it like self-refreshes throughout the day. I don't know. I mean, it stays beautiful throughout the day and it's fantastic. So the next question is, which powder gives the perfect blur? If you follow me on Instagram, which if you're not, hashtag shameless plug, it's at beautybykaylak. I'd love to see you over there. If you've watched pretty much any of my YouTube videos, this is not gonna come as a surprise. It's the Chantecaille Perfect Blur Finishing Powder. This is the limited edition packaging. I used the shade Light Medium. It's self-explanatory. It just creates the most beautiful finish. It blurs out all of my imperfections, my pores, this whole area. It's like you put it on and it's just magic. Like, I'm not gonna keep going on about it because it's just amazing. And you guys know that I love it. I can't use it to set under my eyes because, as you can see, this is a fresh one. You can see it does have a bit of a tint to it, which it's not, you know, using it for my face, it's fine. But to use it under my eyes, it creates a little bit too much of a yellow cast. So I can't use it for under my eyes. Under my eyes, the perfect blur it's gotta be a tie between the Clé de Peau Translucent Loose Setting Powder and the Chantecaille HD Perfecting Powder, the pressed one. I'm wearing the Chantecaille HD Perfecting Powder under my eyes to set under my eyes today. But honestly, like, they're one and the same. They're both fantastic. I guess it just depends on if you want a loose powder or a pressed one. But Chantecaille Perfect, it is. It literally is called the Perfect Blur Finishing Powder. I just thought of that. and made the connection. My brain is gone this week, y'all. But it is the perfect blur, in my opinion. Okay, so the next question is the bronzer with the perfect undertone. Now, I have a ton of bronzers that I love, which I think, if you stay tuned, I'm going to do a video next week with the top 5 bronzers for pale skin. I think I combined 5 and bronzer, and I said frive. Okay, I digress. So I do have a lot of bronzers that I love, but when it comes to the perfect undertone, honestly, this was really, really hard for me to choose from or choose between 2. I ended up choosing the one that I chose because it's just one. The runner-up, I will tell you, was the Wayne Goss Radiance Boosting Face Palette in light gold. But the reason I didn't choose that one is because as far as the undertone, I like the undertone of the contour shade and the bronzer combined. The undertone of each of them is fantastic, but when we're talking about, and I'm pointing to my notes, when we're talking about just the bronzer with the perfect undertone, you know, to me, that's 2 separate things. So I chose for my skin the Gucci bronzer in shade 1. It is the, I'm going to swatch this for y'all because I don't know if I've done that on my skin yet on this channel. It is the perfect, neutral, pretty undertone for my skin. I hope that's showing up. Let me see. I'm gonna pick up a little more just so that y'all can see like a heavy swatch of it. Woo, her smell. It's something, it's very strong, but I don't mind it. See what I mean though? It's like the most neutral, yet rosy, yet bronzy color on my skin. And it really, really, like in the pan, it doesn't look like it's gonna be that great of an undertone. But when I put it on, again, it's what I'm wearing today. It is just, I don't know if it's necessarily like my undertones that make it that way, but God, it's so pretty. And I almost didn't pick this up, and I'm so glad that I did. It's truly a beautiful undertone and a bronzer for my skin and for pale skin in general. So the next question is which blush has the perfect shade? This was tough for me, y'all. I love blush. I mean, I always say I love something when I'm talking about makeup, but honestly, like I love all makeup. So yeah, but I love blush. Blush is fun. It's pretty, you know, it can definitely change a whole look. It was hard for me to choose because I really love my like warm tone, peachy pink kind of blushes. I love my pale pink blushes. There's so many, so many. But the more that I thought about it, or whenever I started thinking about the blushes that I use and the blushes that I reach for that are honestly like chameleon type shades, this is the one that kept coming to mind because I can wear it with so many different looks. And it's the Chantecaille, sorry for all the Chantecaille, hashtag sorry not sorry, Chantecaille Flower Power Cheek Shade. This shade, it really is, you know, it's a chameleon shade. I'm gonna swatch it for y'all next to that bronzer. For my pale skin, again, it is just the prettiest neutral blush. It can go, I mean, I've worn it with cool tone looks. I've worn it with warm tone looks. It really is just a perfect shade for my skin, and I absolutely love it. I'm wearing highlighter today because that's one of the questions about highlighter, but typically when I wear it, I don't even put on a highlighter because it's got that beautiful, I know it probably didn't pick up on camera, but it's got that beautiful sheen that just kind of gives you that natural glow, and it's beautiful. So speaking of highlighter, that brings me to the next question, which is which highlighter has the perfect formula? Again, this was really hard for me. All of these were really hard for me, honestly, because again, I love makeup. And when you love makeup, there's a lot of different formulas that you've tried. This might be kind of surprising, honestly. I mean, I haven't really talked about highlighters too much yet on my channel, but the one that I think has the perfect formula is this MAC highlighter. It's the Extra Dimension formula, I think. Let me make sure. Yes, Extra Dimension Skin Finish. This is the shade Double Gleam. I love this formula. As you can see, y'all, she is gross. Like really, really gross. I do reach for this one a lot. It comes out to this beautiful champagne-y, but yet neutral gold kind of finish on my skin. I'm gonna swatch it again on my arm underneath the blush and the bronzer. It's such a pretty finish. You can put it down and have like a really sheer layer, which is what I did today, and it just looks so natural, but boy, you can build this baby up and make it just this blinding highlight. And I think that that's why, to me, it's the perfect finish, because it's not too glittery, it's not too sparkly, but yet it is kind of sparkly, and you can sheer it out to make it look natural, or you can build it up to just like be seen from space. And I really, really love that. Okay, y'all, the next question was probably the hardest one for me. It's which lipstick has the perfect formula. Y'all, when it comes to makeup, lipstick was my first love. Like lipstick, lip gloss, I just wanted it all. And I mean, I still have a ton, but I used to have like a ton, but I didn't have a ton of everything else. So maybe it seemed like more. I don't know. But gosh, this was so hard. Like so many different formulas went through my mind. I thought of the Wayne Goss lipsticks. I adore those. I thought of the Lisa Eldridge, both the Velvet and the luxurious, I cannot talk today. The Luxuriously Lucent lipsticks. I thought of those. Honestly, I thought of like MAC lipsticks. I thought of Chanel lipsticks. Like there's so many. But when it comes down to it, for me, for my preferences, the perfect lipstick formula, which is what I'm wearing today. Y'all, sorry, not sorry. It's the Chantecaille Lip Chic formula. This is the shade Capucine. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. This was their shade that they came out with the spring summer collection. Just kidding. This formula, I love the scent, I love the finish, I love the longevity, I love the hydration, just everything about it. And I love the shades. So I have so many of these, and I'm going to keep purchasing them until I have all of them that I want. It's hydrating and pigmented, but not too pigmented. It lasts for a while on my lips, and when it does begin to fade, it just fades so naturally and so beautifully. And whatever it is that they make them with, like the hydration, it almost feels like a lip balm or a lip gloss, just because it's so hydrating. And y'all, they're just so good. So good. So to me, that is lipstick formula perfection. So the last two questions involve eyeshadows. So the first one is, which palette has the best shimmers? Now, the palette that I'm going to mention for the next question, which is the palette that has the best color story, I love the shimmers from that palette and from that brand in general, but I wanted to kind of, vary it up a little bit. So the best shimmers for me are not in a palette. They are the Chantecaille Luminescent eye shades. Now I have 4 of these, and I'll go ahead and swatch them for y'all. So the shade I just showed was the shade Cheetah. She's the newest to my collection, and I love her. She's absolutely beautiful. So see the shimmer? It's like this metallic-y kind of shimmer, and it's, oh gosh, they're just so pretty. If there was a palette from Chantecaille that was just the luminescent eye shades, holy shit. I would probably buy like the entire stock of them. No, I'm just kidding. I would just buy one. But oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Oh my gosh, something just fell out. Oh. Okay, well, I've had this lion shade for like ever, and apparently there was a little mirror protector that just now decided to come out. So I'm gonna swatch the lion shade underneath the cheetah shade. Just these shimmers. Oh gosh, they're so beautiful. And then I have the shade Zebra, which is a beautiful, if I could get it open, like rose gold shade, y'all. And then layering these is like, it just takes it to another freaking level. There's the Zebra. Oh, look how pretty. I know it's not picking up on camera, but oh my God, it's so pretty. And then last, but certainly not least, we have Pangolin. Pangolin is the most glittery out of all the shades, in my opinion, but beautiful nonetheless. So we have cheetah, lion, zebra, and pangolin. So yeah, if Chantecaille could just make a palette with these, well, actually they could make new shades and put them all in a palette, that would be absolutely fantastic. The shimmers, if you have like an all matte palette and then some of these shimmers, you are just, oh, you're just good to go. They're beautiful. So last is the palette with the perfect color story. This palette that I'm about to mention, I also love, like I said, the shimmers in this palette, the metallics, and the shimmers and metallics from this brand in general, but I wanted to vary it up a little bit for y'all. So the palette to me with a perfect color story, y'all, is the Sydney Grace and Mel Thompson collab, the Tiny Marbles palette. This is one of my all-time favorite palettes in general, but the color story specifically is just stunning. So you have so many neutral shades just to create a neutral look, which is kind of what I did today. But then you have all of these beautiful pops of color so that you can do a colorful look. And I love that. It was between this and the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. But when I thought of which one I use more, honestly, I use this Tiny Marbles palette more. And again, so I mentioned I love the shimmers and metallics from this brand, which is Sydney Grace, obviously. They're beautiful, y'all. They're definitely rival high-end eyeshadows. Like the pigmentation is just stunning. So I love the color story of this palette. Neutral looks, colorful looks, you got it all in one package. And I love that so much. Okay, y'all, so that is it. That's my perfect makeup in, I guess, each category, answering all of the questions in the tag created again by Morgan Turner and Patty Alonso. I love this tag. I think it's fantastic. Let me know what some of your answers are down below in the comments. I'd love to hear. I just feel like everybody's answers to this are just going to be so different and interesting, and I love that. I love to hear from all of y'all, or would love to hear from all of y'all and see what your answers are to these questions. So again, thank y'all for watching. And if you like my channel, please hit the like button for this video, hit that subscribe button. And if you're not following me on Instagram, it's at beautybykaylak. I'd love to see you over there. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.